Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Veronica, and in today's video, I want to walk you through how you can start your own medical staffing agency or nursing agency with under $10,000. As I mentioned on almost every single one of my videos, the process on how to get started and the cost associated with getting started are going to depend on where you're planning to establish the business. For the sake of the video, I'm going to be using Florida as the example, but this is something that I truly suggest you do. Before moving forward, research the cost associated with getting licensed and insurance in your state, because chances are these are going to be the things that throughout the process are going to cost you the most amount of money. I would hate for you to be in a situation where you have begun the process of registering the business, getting your logo, getting your website, to then realize that you do not have enough cash to put the rest of the things together. So without further ado, let's get started. So before you can do anything, the first thing that you're gonna have to do is register the business with the state. At this point, you're gonna have to decide on a name, but you're also gonna have to decide on what entity type you want your business to be. Is it gonna be a corporation or is it gonna be an LLC? The pricing of starting a corporation versus an LLC tend to be slightly different from each other, so this is something that may actually end up affecting your decision on which one you wanna go for. At the same time, another thing that might have an effect on how much this costs you is the route that you end up taking. Most of the time, you're able to just go to your state's website and register your business, go through the whole process yourself and just pay the state fee. But I know that a lot of people that are doing this for the first time are more comfortable working with an agent or another third party to help them with the process. And this is obviously gonna have some cost associated with that, right? Aside from that, I'm aware that other people are unsure about the differences between LLCs and corporations. And to get a better understanding of which one is gonna work best for their situation, sometimes they end up meeting with attorneys or CPAs to go through their needs, and that might also end up elevating the cost of doing this a little bit. Now, for the sake of the example, since we're on a budget here, I'm gonna eliminate these things and I'm gonna pretend that I'm starting an LLC in Florida. Right now, the price to do this is $125. Again, this is assuming that you're gonna be doing this on your own, you're not using a third party. The next thing is gonna be your logo and website, right? This is something that you're gonna be doing pretty early on the process of getting your business established, and there's gonna be a cost associated with this. For getting a basic logo, the hosting, and the domain for the website, the cost can start at $300, but go all the way up to about $3,000, $5,000, depending on which route you take. For $300 or so, you can manage to work on a DIY website on a basic website builder and perhaps pay for the domain and also your hosting for a couple months, but it is really not gonna get you that far if you're thinking about working with a specialized person to help you in this. And on the higher end, $3,000 or so, definitely expect to work with somebody that is much more established, that understands how to put these things together, and that's gonna give you a very professional outcome. For this example, let's aim for somewhere in the middle. So let's say that you're gonna be putting $1,500 towards your logo and website design. This way, we can give your agency a professional look and feel, but still remaining within a budget. Next, you'll need important documentation to be able to run the business. These are gonna be your policy and procedures, your employee handbook, your service agreements, and other things like that. And there's a few different avenues that you can take. Depending on whether you are creating these things on your own or purchasing them, the price can be anywhere from $0 to $5,000. For this example, let's allocate around $1,500, which means that you're gonna be putting together some of the things using AI, doing your research online, but you're still allocating some money towards getting perhaps a proper service agreement from an attorney. Next is licensing. This is very important and one of those things that is really gonna vary from state to state. Even states that do require the agencies be licensed, in some cases do not charge the agency any money to allow them to register and get licensed. But in other states, they can charge anywhere from $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 just to be able to register the business with the Department of Health and remain compliant. To operate legally in Florida, you would need to get a nursing pool license from the Department of Health. And right now, this is usually costing about $650 after you have paid for that, plus the fees associated with the transaction. Getting licensed is a must-have, so make sure to do this research beforehand. Again, this is one of the things that you might be surprised can be very expensive in some states, and I would hate for you to not have the cash to do this after you've already spent money on registering the business and getting your website and logo already put together. Next, we have insurance. Now, insurance is one of those things that you might need to pay very early on before you even get licensed, because it can be a part of those requirements and you need to submit proof of insurance with the documentation or the application. But in other cases, you're able to delay when you start making these payments. In the state of Florida, you do need to have general liability and professional liability insurance in order to submit the full application to the Department of Health. And the costs associated with this can really vary. Usually, whatever your quote is for general liability and professional liability insurance, it's gonna depend on the types of employees that you plan to place and also your projected revenue for the year. So an advice that we like to give is to make sure to underestimate how much money you think you'll be making. Because at the end of the day, if you say that you plan to make $500,000 for that first year, your premium for that insurance is gonna be based on that. Once you do get the premium, keep in mind that usually you can break this down into installment payments, and a lot of the times the carriers that we work with allow you to start your insurance policy with a 20% down payment. So for the sake of the example, let's pretend that this amount was $500 just for the down payment, which usually is in line with what we see whenever we're working with our clients in Florida. When it comes to workers' compensation, the premium is always going to be a percentage of the projected payroll for the year. So similarly to what happens with general liability and professional liability insurance, you want to make sure that you're underestimating. Your premium for the year can be anywhere from 2-3% of the projected payroll to 8% of that payroll amount. So let's pretend that you are projecting your payroll is going to be $100,000 for the year, right? The premium for the year at 5% would be about $5,000, and you can activate that usually with a down payment. Again, let's say it's 10%. Let's allocate $500 towards this. So far, let's recap and see what we have. We have the registration of the business at $125. We have the logo and website at $1,500, documentation also $1,500, and insurance for $1,000, as well as licensing, which in the state of Florida, it's about $650. At this point, you're pretty much done and you have all of the basic things that are needed for you to actually start operating your agency. But we're missing a couple of things. Starting out with software, you are gonna have to have some sort of software that will allow you to run payroll once you start employing people. And you're also gonna need to have a software that's helping you with the overall management of the business. As you know, for software, we recommend On-Time ITS, and that is a very affordable solution for people that are just getting started. For payroll software, expect to pay anywhere from $100 to $300 just to get started. And for a management software that's helping you with the scheduling, managing employee data, and similar things, expect to pay about $300 to $500. Now, adding these things together, let's pretend that you are allocating $500 towards software at the very beginning of the business setup. Obviously, any software that you use is gonna come with additional fees as you go. They can be based on usage, like On-Time is. Others are just a monthly fee. So that's some research that you're gonna have to do on your end. And obviously, when it comes to this startup budget, I'm not necessarily adding any of those things into the budget, but you may consider this because at times you might be paying for those things for a couple months before you officially start to make money. Another thing that's very important, if you're watching this video, chances are this is your first time starting a business, you've been a nurse, a healthcare professional for a long time, and are now trying to build something for yourself, and you are gonna need guidance. Guidance when it comes to how to calculate your bill rates, how to get contracts, how to recruit staff, proper management techniques for the business. So this is why I think it's very important that you're always allocating a portion of your budget towards consulting. This consulting may be with a firm like us that can help people from start to end. Depending on your need, your consultant might have different fees associated with their services, right? Something that I always recommend people that come in and say, hey, Veronica, I have a $10,000 budget. How do you think I should allocate this? I always tell them to go for our premium course. At this point, you should be seeing some information on screen that's showing some of the features and some of the characteristics of this program. This program is a comprehensive online training system that will teach you in depth the step-by-steps of all of the things that you need to do to start your own medical staffing agency. It's gonna provide advice and a lot of information regarding what to expect moving forward, so you come into the business already understanding the dynamics of medical staffing and how you can actually succeed in this business. With this $2,000 program, you also get lifetime access to group mentoring sessions, which in my opinion, is very, very valuable. Because at different points in the process of you starting the business, you're gonna have different concerns, different problems are gonna arise, and having this as a support system is definitely gonna be of great value to you as you move forward with the process. Finally, you are gonna need to have some money set aside for your marketing, especially when it comes to recruiting nurses or other medical professionals for your business. You can expect that there's gonna be some cost associated with doing this. Whether you're paying for a premium LinkedIn account, you're sponsoring posts on Indeed, you're running ads, working with creators, or referral sources that can get you staff, you're gonna need to have some sort of budget for this. In this example, I'm gonna say that $2,000 should be your marketing budget. As I'm looking at these numbers, the registration at $125, logo and website $1,500, documentation also $1,500, licensing $650, insurances $1,000, payroll and management software $500, consulting $2,000, and your marketing and employee acquisition budget of $2,000, you would end up spending a total of about $9,275, which means that ultimately you would still have some money left from that original budget. This is great news because it means that you are gonna have some wiggle room and a little more flexibility in what you're able to do. So you can either decide to put this towards marketing, you can decide to put this towards getting more professional documentation, towards the logo and website, towards paying an agent to help you register the business. It's gonna be up to you what you do with this money, but it's always good to have this so you can either cover any miscellaneous costs or give yourself some extra wiggle room by spending a little bit more on the categories that are of most importance to you. Hopefully this goes to show that you can definitely start your medical staffing agency without needing a super large investment. And although I'm sure that for a lot of you out there, and with the economic situation being what it is, $10,000 is a huge investment. If you go to our previous videos, you'll see that the profit margins in medical staffing can actually be very attractive. So if this is a business that you're interested in starting, and if you have some money ready to invest, I would definitely encourage you to consider this as one of your options. If you feel that you need more assistance, you want a dedicated consultant to help you get licensed, draft your documentation, provide one-on-one advice on how to get contracts, and guide you through absolutely everything, we do have more options available when it comes to consulting packages that are a little bit more comprehensive and dedicated. But if you don't, again, just know that that $2,000 course is definitely the greatest tool that we have for people in a budget that are looking to get the ball rolling. If you like this video, please give it a like, leave any questions that you may have down below. And if you want to learn more about what it is like working with us and you want us to walk you through specific questions that may come up, definitely reach out to us. You can email us at info@passiveworkforce.com or go to our website and contact us through our contact form.